Hello all you awesome people, and welcome back to the GM Philosophy channel. So you might be wondering, whoa, who's this chick and where's the philosopher? Well, don't worry, the philosopher is not gone. I am just stealing the spotlight for now. My name is the Rogue Lady, and I am the newest member of the GM Philosophy family. Alright, so a little bit about myself. I am a fellow GM and TTRPG fan. I am also an artist and a cosplayer, and I create content on several social media platforms. I am also a big old heckin' nerd. And as the newest member of the family, I am here to create content and provide a different perspective on GM tips and tricks and all those sorts of things, tools of the trade and things that I've discovered and ideas that I've come up with and things that I believe could be helpful for GMs. And that is the focus on our channel. Providing content that is helpful and entertaining and focused on assisting GMs with the greatest game in the world, D&D. So without further ado, let's get into my first video on the channel. So for today's episode of Stealing the Spotlight with the Rogue Lady, I am going to be talking to you all about creating special signature weapons for your players. As a GM, I find that a big part of my role in GMing is rewarding my players for their awesome roleplay and their efforts and just being there to play the game and showing up every week. And it's really nothing, there's nothing like seeing the light in my players' eyes just shine and pop whenever they receive something amazing that's made specifically for them, and they can just feel like, wow, this story is like about me, it's about my character and my character's journey. And I do my best to like make those moments regularly for all of my players. And one of the ways I like to do that is create homebrew weapons specifically for my players. So how, you might ask? The way I've done it is I spend a lot of time with my players. They're my friends also, and you know, if you spend multiple hours with them every week at the table, you're already getting a lot of time with them. But we have a little Discord channel and we all talk about the game, and when we were doing session 0, we talked about their characters and stuff. And so through that, I kind of got a general vibe about like what kind of weapons they see themselves having. And like 2 of my players straight up just told me, like, I want awesome battle axe someday, or I want a flail. And so I took that and I was like, okay, yeah, later in the story I'll make sure they receive this in a really awesome way. So what I did is dive into their backstory and look for ideas about their character, and the like history and their like deities and like important moments in their life, and use that to like flavor the weapon itself and flavor how they're gonna get it. Because not only is having the really cool weapon important, but designing how they receive it is also super important. I think just opening up a box and being like, oh hey, cool, here's my weapon, or them just starting out with it isn't going to be as impactful as them like earning it through something amazing, even if they don't know they're going to get it until the end, and that's even better if they don't know. So we build the weapon by picking the base weapon of the game in the game. So for instance, the one that I'm going to be talking about today is a battle axe that I created for one of my players who is a cleric, who fights like a barbarian. She is a follower of Arathis, and Arathis is like the goddess of civilization and order, and so the whole vibe with her is that she's like an ex like combat nun, if you will. So she's got like healing powers and stuff, but she has been role-playing her character just running straight into battle, even though she is absolutely not made for frontline combat. And so instead of being like, oh, you're just gonna, you know, get beat up by fighting that way, I decided, okay, well, Arathis, her symbol is an axe. And so we're gonna give her this badass, like, Arathis battle axe. So I found a basic basic stat block for a battle axe, and then I tweaked it by adding 3 magical powers, 3 magical abilities that you can use with the axe, and they only have like 1 charge per day for each, so it's not like OP. And the way that I gave it to her was she has been like losing her connection to Arathis for a while and like trying to like regain that connection. And so she was meditating and trying to connect with Arathis, and I had her, wake up in front of the goddess herself, and they had this conversation, and I had her like really intimidated because she had her idea of what Arathis was like, but her character's never met her before, and I've never portrayed her at the table. And so when I portrayed her as this like commanding, intense person who was also like way more like edgy than you would think for a god, and she was dropping F-bombs and stuff. And anyway, I had her offer Stella, who's the character, the opportunity to become her champion again. And she was like, well, yeah, I want to do it. I'll do it. And I was like, I had Arathis get down in her face and be like, I'll prove it. And she handed her this axe. And I gave her like the max power version of the axe. And she's looking around like, how do I do that? And then I had 3 statues come alive and fight her. And I didn't want my other players to just sit around and have to watch this, so I actually let my other players have the stat blocks for those statues and had them actually fight Stella. So there was this like awesome player versus player moment with lower stakes, and each of the statues had their own power, and those powers are reflected in the axe. So there's 3 abilities and 3 statues with their own abilities that line up with this. And so after she very, very difficultly solved this issue and fought them, she wakes back up and she has the axe. But it has 3 spell slots in it, and 2 of them are empty. And so she's going to have to like travel around and find the other 2 to put in there. So I gave her this pretty powerful axe, and then I nerfed it so that she would have something awesome that she earned, but now she has to like use it to level it up so that it's not like OP, and we can kind of like, I can like, manage the difficulty of like the encounters around the fact that she has this axe, so I didn't accidentally like break my game by giving her something too powerful. But if you ever do give your player something pretty powerful, there's many ways to work around that. You can raise the difficulty, you can send more baddies after them, you can have it break, you can always just give it charges, like start with a low number, like, oh, you can do this special thing like once a day, once a long rest, etc. And that's kind of how I'm doing that. Alternatively, if you're struggling to create something from scratch, you can also just find a magic item that already exists in like the DMG and reflavor it. And to reflavor, you literally just have to change some words, change some description, and it's still the exact same spells, but you just change the words up a little bit. And if you are struggling with that, you can actually just straight up ask the player, like, what does this do? Or what would you like for this to be like, for this ability to be like? So yeah, creating an awesome signature weapon for your characters is pretty amazing, and I think is a great way to both increase your players' fun and your own fun, because you get to be creative, you get to put your own DNA in the game, and again, nothing is more awesome than having your players just light up when they see this thing that's like specifically made for them. So maybe give that a shot in your campaign. Look into your players' backstory, find some things that reflect their personality, pick a weapon that you know they're gonna like, modify the stats a little bit from the base stats of that particular item in the game that already exists probably, and then create some really cool epic moment for them to receive it. And yeah, watch their eyes light up, and let us know in the comments how it worked out for you. So this has been Stealing the Spotlight with the Rogue Lady, and I'm going to be here every Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. And I'm super excited to be part of the team. I'm looking forward to reading all the comments and feedback about my videos. Feel free to follow me on all of my other social medias. I have my own channel where I'm going to be making more longer form content. I'm doing some map building, tutorials for Owlbear Rodeo, a podcast where I talk to other players and other DMs about D&D and other TTRPGs. I'm going to be running a few actual plays, some like short one-shots, various different types, maybe a pirate campaign coming up soon. So yeah, all of my contact info is going to be in the description, and we'll see you all next Friday to talk about the greatest game in the world, D&D.